he said only the linguistic national identity is valid in India. So we are talking about caste identity. That is not right path, you know. So the right thing to be preserved in this nation is linguistic identity. That is what the real national identity. We can be in Indian Union, but we are linguistic nations like Tripura, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, etc. And he spoke about cheap labor. You know, there's a trend in all over now. You know, when we employ cheap labor, it is good for the owners of industries, but it is not true. In the future, what will happen is when you continue employing cheap labor, they will also demand the same price. So this is not the solution. The solution is to first check your own nation, and if there is any skill set available, then if there's there's no skill set at all available, then you think about other nations. First you think about your own nations. Is there any skill set available and everything? And he emphasized that. Thank you, sir, for emphasizing that idea. Now we call upon Patal Kanya Jamatia. அடுத்ததாக நம்முடைய பேச வருபவர் திரிபுரா மக்கள் முன்னணியின் நிறுவன தலைவர் பட்டால் கன்யா ஜமாத்தியா அவர்கள். அவர் அரசியல் மேலாண்மையில் மேற்படிப்பு பட்டம் பெற்றவர். திரிபுராவில் மட்டுமல்ல, இந்திய ஒன்றியத்திலேயே சட்டவிரோதமாக குடியேறியவர்களுக்கு எதிராக போராடும் முதல் பெண்மணி திரிபுரா சார்ந்த திரிபுரா மக்கள் முன்னணி தலைவர் பட்டால் கன்யா ஜமாத்தியா அவர்கள். 2018ஆம் ஆண்டு நான் ஐக்கிய நாடுகள் சபையில் அவரை சந்தித்தேன். நாம் தமிழர் கட்சி கொள்கைகளை அவரிடம் விளக்கிய போது, எங்களுக்காக பேச யாரும் இல்லை அப்படி என்று அவருடைய ஆதங்கத்தை தெரிவித்தார். அன்று முதல் இன்று வரை நாம் தமிழர் கட்சியோடு சேர்ந்து இயங்கும் பெண்மணி பட்டால் கன்யா ஜமாத்தியா அவர்கள். எப்போதெல்லாம் திரிபுராவில் கூட்டங்கள் நடைபெறுகிறதோ, நாம் தமிழர் கட்சியின் தலைமை ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர் சீமான் அவர்களை அழைப்பார். அவர் போக முடியாத சூழல் இருக்கும்போது பிரதிநிதித்துவப்படுத்தி என்னை அனுப்புவார். அப்படித்தான் இந்த நட்பு தொடர்கிறது. திரிபுராவின் சீமான் என்று சொன்னால் அது மிகையாவாது. ஏனென்றால் அவ்வளவு பெரிய, நான் அங்கே சென்றபோது அவ்வளவு பெரிய கூட்டங்களை நான் சந்தித்தேன். மிகப்பெரிய கூட்டங்களை நடத்தி வருபவர். ஐக்கிய நாடுகள் சபையில் முதல் முறையாக திரிபுரா தேசிய சிக்கலை கொண்டு சென்ற முதல் பெண்மணி என்ற பெருமைக்குரியவர். நாம் தமிழர் கட்சியின் கொள்கையான அந்தந்த தேசிய இனங்களை ஆள வேண்டும். இந்தியாவை யார் ஆள்வது என்ற சிக்கல் வரும்போது அனைத்து தேசிய இனங்களும் சேர்ந்து பேசி கூடி பேசி முடிவெடுத்து ஆள வேண்டும் என்ற கொள்கையில் முழு உடன்பாடு கொண்டவர். அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒருவர். Let us welcome Patal Kanya Jamatia. For others, I speak a little bit in English. A warm, loving, caring person, Ms. Patal Kanya Jamatia is a firebrand leader of indigenous Tiprasa's Baroque people from Tripura. She is the president of Tripura People's Friend formed by her in 2014, and since then he has been fighting for the rights of the people of Tripura. Running the socio-political party for rights, she has organized regular meetings and street protests all over Tripura, maintaining a distance from electoral politics. She is the only woman leader, not only in Tripura, but all over India, fighting against illegal immigration. Let us welcome Patal Kanya Jamatia, President of Tripura People Friend.
पहिलानो अनि खाकथार बाय संकरना लिंगनरनो खुलुमं याफाड़. First of all, I big salute to Sankar Linganar. My dear respected Tamil brothers and sisters, Nam Tamila Katsi, Chief Coordinator Simon Anna, Tamil National Movement President Maniara Sanaya, Venkat Raman GS of Tamil National Movement, my beloved brother Zeba Daring, our noticed brother from Nagaland Mr. Benu and Nenglu Kroms, brother from Punjab Paramjit Singh Ghazi and Paramjit Singh Man, Khulumkha, Banakkan, Satri Akal. Revolutionary greetings from Tripura People's Front on behalf of the indigenous Tripura Saborak Nation, struggling to save their life, habitat and culture. Brother Zeba? I feel proud to stand in the land of Tamil, which is the oldest surviving language in the world. I feel honored to stand in the land of Thiruvallur, who gave the classical literature Thirukkural to the world. I feel proud to stand in the land of Sankar Linganar. Sorry. As Simon Anna said in a meeting in Delhi, I want to speak in my native language, Kokborok, so that I express my feeling better. I have come all the way from Tripura to share my story and the story of my people. I have come to listen to your story, that you're of your people. I see this visit as a journey of the sharing concern, problem, hopes, solution, and strategy. More than ever before, today is the time when all those who are suffering must join hands and heart to work for solution to our problem based on our own unique situation, perception, and each other experience based on respective struggle and the attitude and rule of the India government. I represent the indigenous Borok nation of the indigenous Tripura Borok people. Our fight is for our fundamental rights and justice. Today, in Tripura, our survival is at stake and we are on the verge of extinction. We are governed under a political dispensation where Bengali dominance of the Bangladeshi infiltrators has grossly impacted our social life, political reach, and economic status. A proud indigenous Tripura Borok people who are living with their distinct identity in a natural ecosystem in our pure forest-like environment with a holistic lifestyle in harmony and peace for centuries are now struggling for survival as the demographic of their homeland has been seriously endangered with illegal Bangladeshi infiltrator. In 1947, we were 93% of the total population. Now we are mere 20% below only 19%. Brother and sister, please take this as a big lesson. If you are not careful, you will end up in the same way in Tamil Nadu. Our extinction is on the horizon, but is sadly not visible to the government of India and successive state government of Tripura, who are purblind to our problem and legitimate concern. We have petitioned the Union government and various authorities many times. We wait justice from the Supreme Court of India. Today, my people are restless, no job, no workplace, no education in the mother tongue, no promotion of our culture, habitat in danger, forests looted and taken over, administrative, social, political powers, seriously economic situation, environmental danger, degradation, all leading to a terrifying state of affairs which is likely to degenerate into strife between the two sections of society in the state of Tripura. The writing is on the wall, but we as a people are determined to avoid this, but the state government and the union government are implementing policies making our life difficult, forcing us to silence unlawful act and illegal infiltration. Our language and culture are under attack. Our own language, Kokborok, is not included in the English Schedule of Language of the India Constitution, despite repeat requests. Even though we accept to join India through a merger treaty with precondition, none of them has been fulfilled, leaving us in the lurch and our future generation at high risk of losing their distinct identity and status. Demographic sense, disruption of economics and political power at all levels, including the Tripura Tribal Autonomous District Council, have bettered the Borok people, allowing an easy influx of the population from Bangladesh. Since the last 7 decades has destroyed our home and heart, India is a role asked through the proxy of the Bangladeshis infiltrators. In Tripura, we have government for foreigners and not for indigenous local population. The land and forests of the Tripura Borok nation have been occupied by force by illegal Bangladesh immigrants. We are second-class citizens in our own ancestral homeland. When we went to speak about our problem in United Nations Human Rights Council Geneva in 2018, I met Nam Tamila Karsiris representative Jeba Darwin in 2018. I came to know about policies of Simon Anna, especially the policy about federalism in India. Yes, I strongly agree that every state in India should be ruled by their own people. Tripura should be ruled by Borok people. Punjab should be ruled by Punjabis. Same way Tamil Nadu must be ruled by Tamil, not by Dravidian. Who will rule India? Who will rule India? Let us all get together and decide who will rule India. That is the real federalism. Dear brave Tamil friends, on behalf of my Borok people and myself, I acknowledge the remarkable and rare commitment of Thiru Sankarnalinganar and salute his noble sacrifice. What a non-violent way he adopted when in October 1956, Thiru Sankarnalinganar he fasted for 76 days, leading to martyrdom for the Phenomene Madras state to Tamil Nadu in honor of the Tamil language, culture and nationalism. I have read that he did not fall victim to the empty promise of the then Dravidian leaders and the Indian government leaders who wanted him to give up his fast. It is a tribute to his sacrifice that Tamil Nadu became a reality, even though it took more than 12 years after his passing away. As I stand here paying homage to these great Tamil nationalists, I sadly recall that from nursery to university, I studied in a foreign tongue, Bengali. Today I don't know Hindi and English well. The Tripura People's Front is committed to upholding our mother tongue, the Kokborok language, which has been regulated to second language status in Tripura. In the one nation, one language, one religion in parallelism is posed upon the linguistic nation. Let us all unite and teach them a lesson. When I go from here, I will share the story of the bravery of Thiru Sankarnalinganar, loves, respect and honor for the Tamil language with the Tripura Borok people. I am confident that This will inspire them to prepare for the supreme sacrifice, affirm and uphold the linguistic rights, fundamental rights, and justice for the Borok people. I wish to reiterate that situation in Tripura is quite precarious. We are regularly breaking ourselves in a fight for survival. The experience of the people of Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Nagaland share hereby distinguished representative of this nation have given me a lot strength and thus inspire of the spirit of continue to fight for our rights. We began the Tripura People's Front in 2014 and we reckon we have a long way to go. With your support, recognition and intervention, I see better days ahead for our people. We are down but not out. My people and I will fight back with our hands held high. Even if we have to lose our lives, I will die protesting injustice. I have the firm belief that with the blessing of God and sacrifice of my father and grandfather, the overwhelming participation of our people with the Tripura People's Front and with the cooperation of other struggling nationalities, especially Tamils, Sikhs, Nagas, and Borok people will reclaim their legitimate social and cultural, economic, and political fundamental rights and justice sooner than later. Dear friends, as I see it, for all of us, our fight for justice is a symbol of our victory. This meeting is giving a new ray of hope in my mind that I am not alone. Before I close, I wish to express my gratitude to Nam Tamil Katsi for sending Brother Seva Dhaving to Tripura since 2018 to participate in our conference, and also Bankat Raman Sir. And with us, Jagmohan Sir. Jagmohan Sir was very supportive and guiding me to participate in this event. I am especially thankful to Jagmohan Sir. I also wish to acknowledge the presence and support of Mr. K. Bankadrama of the Tamil National Party and Jagmohan Sir from Punjab, who demonstrate on the street of Tripura for the rights of indigenous people. My visit today is small reciprocation of the card gesture shown to our people. Ladies and gentlemen, I profusely thank you for the opportunity to share the experience of the indigenous Tripura Borok people. We will need your support to take up our claim and our struggle at international forum. Today, we all made a new history. I promise that I will continue protest for Tamil rights like TPF did not the past in the Tripura, and Tamil brother will protest for Tripura rights in Tamil Nadu. With love and respect to all, hope in our hearts and prayers on our lips, greetings to all nationalities. Thank you very much. Jotono Sobani Sibai.
Thank you so much, Patal Kanya Jamatia. அவருடைய பேச்சில் குறிப்பாக அவர்களுடைய தாய்மொழியாகிய கோக் பொரக் எப்படி ஒடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது, அவர்கள் மாநிலத்திலேயே அது இரண்டாம் மொழியாக தள்ளப்பட்டிருக்கிறது, அவர்கள் கல்வியில் கூட அந்த மொழிக்கு முக்கியத்துவம் இல்லை என்பதையும் சுட்டி காண்பித்தார். அதே போல அவர்களுக்கு இந்த இந்திய ஒன்றியத்தில் அவர்களை இணைக்க சில முன் நிர்பந்தங்களுடன் ஒப்பந்தம் கையெழுத்தானது. இன்று வரை விடுதலை பெற்ற நாள் முதல் இன்று வரை அந்த ஒப்பந்தங்கள் எதுவுமே நடைமுறைப்படுத்தப்படவில்லை என்ற அவல நிலையையும் எடுத்து எம்பினார். கூடுதலாக இங்கு வந்ததில் ஐயா சங்கரலிங்கனார் அவர்களின் ஈகத்தை அறிந்து அதை அங்கு சென்று அவர்களுடைய நாட்டில் பரப்புவதாகவும், அதே போல வீரம் செறிந்த போராட்டங்களை அவர்கள் எப்படி நடத்துகிறார்கள், நாம் அனைவரும் தேசிய இன எழுச்சிக்காக இங்கு எப்படி இணைந்து போராட வேண்டி இருக்கிறது என்ற முக்கியத்துவத்தையும் எடுத்து காட்டினார். So thank you so much, Patal. Certainly we all will work together for uplifting the nationalist movement across India. Next we call upon Nengulo Krom, Secretary General, Naga People's Movement for Human Rights. He has served the organization for more than 40 years, has served the Naga people in various capacities as a student leader and also a General Secretary of the Naga Hoho. Have been participating in many international, including the United Nations forums on behalf of the Naga people. நாகா மக்களுக்காக தொடர்ந்து 40 ஆண்டுகளுக்கும் மேலாக சமூக பணி ஆற்றி வரும் ஐயா நேங்குலோ குரோம் அவர்களை பேச அழைக்கிறோம்.
Thank you, Nam Tamilar Kachi, for inviting us Nagas to this very auspicious and memorable and respectable 75th anniversary, martyrdom anniversary of Thiru Sankaralingana on this 13 October 2021. I stand before you not only as a Naga man from Nagaland state of India, but I stand before you as a Nagas who are divided into different parts of India, including in Manipur, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and in Burma up to the Chingwin River. Nagas live in an area of 120,000 square kilometers. Nagaland state in India is only 16,000 square kilometers. So I represent Nagas who have been badly divided and our humanity has been destroyed by the then British and the new independent India. And I stand before you in spirit and in moral as a Tamil today with you. I also take this opportunity to extend my brotherhood, my solidarity with my brothers from Punjab, from Tripura, including all the struggling people in India across this subcontinent who have struggled all their life, including the Dalits, different people who have been suffering their entire life at the hands of few privileged class in this so-called world's greatest or biggest democracy. It is no more a greatest democracy, it is just the biggest population democratic country. So sad. It was during this time when our leader, Sankaralingana, was fasting in 1956. That Nagas were also, the entire Naga villages were being burned down, hunted down like animals. We lived in the jungles from 1956 to 1959 and early 1960s. Many of our brothers and sisters were born in the jungles like animals, like tigers, like elephants, like whatever, deers, monkeys, call any name. Entire Naga villages were burned down after Indian sent its military in 1953 to hunt down Nagas killed Nagas, raped Indian Naga women, children, for saying that Nagas are not Indians. And because Nagas refused to join the Indian Union in 1950 when Indian Constitution was drafted, and Nagas completely boycotted the first Indian elections in 1952. And because of that, we were destroyed. And the then Prime Minister of India, very sadly, of course, is gone. With all due respect, the first greatest Indian Prime Minister, Nehru, he shouted in the Indian Parliament, saying that I would, even if all the rivers in India runs red with blood, I will not allow Nagas to be independent. I will station one Indian soldier for every tree in Nagaland and crush the Nagas within 1 week. With that promise, he sent Indian Army in 1953 and started destroying, after killing whatever Nagas they could find, from 1956, when our elder and brother was fasting in Tamil Nadu. Every Naga villages was uprooted, burned to ashes. So for more than 25 years, ever since in the early 50s, Nagaland was blacked out. When I say blacked out, you may understand better if I say what happened in Jammu and Kashmir in 2019, 2 years ago. No internet, no visitor, nothing. Nagaland or the world did not have internet at the time. But Nagaland, nobody was allowed to visit Nagaland. Not even Indian people, journalists, writers, scholars, even diplomats from countries from the Indian embassies in Calcutta and Delhi. They were not allowed to visit Nagaland. Even for any Indian person to come to Nagaland, they need a special permit to enter Nagaland. So for 25 years or more, Nagaland was completely blacked out. Indian Army tried to just commit genocide, annihilate Nagas from the face of the earth. Not only the Naga people, but the entire villages, the entire civilization. But we survived because of the grace of God, because we were born into this world with a purpose. We survived. All this happened because even before India became independent, Nagas have made ourselves very clear that even to the Britishers, to leave us alone as our ancestors found us. Nagas were called savages, Nagas were called headhunters, wild animals, whatever. Yes, Nagas were wild, uneducated, uncivilized, but we lived a very proud and free people till Britishers came and Indian military came and invaded our land. From there, our humanity and our dignity was destroyed. And in order to restore that dignity and our humanity on the face of this earth, we took up arms resistance. Who are Nagas? Just a few, 2 million, hardly 2 million population that time, to take arms against mighty Indian army. But the entire Indian army, thousands and thousands of Indian army that came to Nagaland to destroy our people and our village, could not wipe us out from the face of this earth because our story was correct. And God knows that we are a distinct people. And the people themselves knows we cannot become another person. We cannot become Indians when we're not Indians. So we survived till today. And in that situation, I want to particularly thank today P.V. Narasimha Rao, who was the Indian Prime Minister, for searching Nagas in 1995, because our leaders were fighting back home. Our leaders are telling our story to the rest of the world, to the United Nations, to Europe, to America, wherever, to tell our stories, sharing our sufferings. Narasimha Rao requested to meet our people. So when he was Prime Minister of India in 1995, he went to Paris in France and he met our leaders. And he requested our leaders to sign ceasefire that Nagaland and India must negotiate at the highest level, at the prime minister level, and in a third country, not in India, not in Nagaland, but we will talk outside the Indian. That was his request. And Nagas appreciated, reciprocated, and said, if India is really sincere to bring peace between us, we will say okay. But his prime ministership tenure was over. But as soon as his tenure was over, SD Devi Gowda came as a prime minister. He followed what Prime Minister Narasimha Rao has done, and he went and met our leaders again in Paris, in France, and also in Zurich, in Switzerland, 2 times. After these 2 prime ministers requested our leaders to come and sign ceasefire, it was during Ike Gujral's time that the ceasefire was signed in 1997. So Nagas, today we're in the 24th year of political negotiation, but we have our eternal gratefulness to Narasimha Rao and SD Devi Gowda, who accidentally, by a twist of history, came from the southern part of the Indian continent. And I take this great opportunity to say thank you to all of you on their behalf who represented you. Narasimha Rao is no more today with us, but SD Devi Gowda is still alive. He's with us. And I hope God will give him better health, good health, long life, to search for peace, not only for Naga people, but also for Tamilians, for Punjab, for our friends in Tripura, in Northeast, different parts of India. And we hope that someday we will all live a more dignified life. During this course of the last 24 years of peace negotiation, during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, India made a breakthrough with the Nagas, in a sense that Nagas, India have never agreed to recognize Nagas as a separate people, as a distinct people. But in 2002, on 11 July 2002, in Amsterdam, the government of India, in writing, recognized the unique history and situation of Nagas, to say that yes, Nagas are not Indians, but let us live in peace. So Nagas says, okay, if you really want peace, and if you mean what you say, and understand the situation of the Nagas, then Nagas will understand India even 10 times more than what you are understanding the Nagas. And that was the word of our leader who is in the negotiation. So 2002, in 50 years' time, Government of India for the first time acknowledged and recognized the unique history and situation of the Nagas, to say that yes, Nagas are not Indians. And that Nagas and Indians are 2 entities. So this same spirit was again signed, and what many of you must have heard, in 2015, 3rd August, when the framework agreement was signed, that Government of India continue to recognize the unique history and situation of the Nagas, and that India and Nagas, as 2 entities, must live in peaceful coexistence through a new relationship. These were some of the main key components of the framework agreement. We have had several interlocutors on behalf of the Government of India for the last 24 years. Already 5 interlocutors have gone. Today, a new interlocutor has been appointed in the person of Mr. A.K. Misra, because the last interlocutor tried to deviate the position of the Government of India and to go back on the words given by the Government of India that it recognized the unique history of the Nagas, that the Nagas are different people. all the words that was given in writing, committed by all the previous prime minister. So Nagas refused to talk with this interlocutor anymore. And from 2002 January till today, there was no talk. But because talk has to be resumed, Government of India appointed a new interlocutor, and so the talks have started again since last month in September. What will happen, we do not know. But in the present day, now and in the present day, for the last 2-3 weeks, for the last many days, Naga leaders, including politicians, state politicians, chief ministers, opposition leaders, political party leaders, all are now camping in Delhi, maybe in 100 people more, different Naga leaders, different Naga nationalist movement leaders, all factions are being brought to Delhi. We don't know what kind of peace deal Government of India is attempting. But if it is not an honorable settlement, Nagas can never be cowed down to accept something which we have never accepted all our life and fought all our life and gave our best all our life. After 24 years, more than 20 years of negotiation, Government of India representative started to say that Nagas can have any level of autonomy, but must live under the Indian Constitution. They cannot have their flag. This is something unacceptable. In the past, when Indira Gandhi had the first ceasefire with the Naga people in 1964 to 1968, she assured the Naga delegation, take anything under the sun, but not sovereignty. Naga said, we will not take anything under the sun or the moon or the stars, but Nagas will retain our sovereignty, our independence. And so there was no meeting point, and the first ceasefire was broken, and then all this dark history was repeated. Again, in this present situation, second ceasefire, government started with a very high tone that the talks will be without any condition, that it will be at the level of the prime minister, talks will be held in a foreign country, in a third country. And they went to the extent of saying that Nagas are not Indians and recognize the unique history of the Naga people. And they even said that Nagas and Indians are two entities and must live in peaceful coexistence. And now they want to say that you must accept any agreement under the Indian Constitution and you cannot have your flag. Without our flag, without our Constitution, which has governed us and our ancestors all our life, in all our history, since mankind has come to this earth. How are we going to revert back our identity and our nationhood? So we pray and we hope, even as the Government of India negotiates with Naga leaders in Delhi now, that Government of India will be sincere and will demonstrate its commitment to its own words. Those words were not put in the mouth of the Indian government by the Nagas, but their own prime minister, their own negotiators, not only said, but they wrote in an agreement that Nagas are a distinct people. If they can commit themselves and demonstrate their commitment through any peace deal, then we must say, God bless all of them. But if they want to go back on the word, then it's going to be very unfortunate. Nagas may be wiped out from the face of the earth, but our dignity and our nationhood and our identity will never be wiped out. So for the sake of peace, not only for Nagas and Northeast region or other parts, in struggling parts of different parts of the Indian subcontinent, we hope for the sake of peace, and I repeat, for the sake of peace, India will be sincere and demonstrate its commitment in letter and in spirit. And I want to say that I have also seen with my own eyes what happened in Sri Lanka against the Tamilians. I have visited Trincomalee. I have seen what has happened. I've heard and read about what happened in the Golden Temple in Punjab through Operation Blue Star. Nagas also have undergone this similar operation called Operation Bluebird. Yours is a blue star, ours is a bluebird. But this bluebird didn't sing a harmonious song. It brought pains and sufferings. But we will all be united in our effort, and God will give us the strength to resist these all evil forces. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nainggolan Chrome. Sorry. நாகர்கள், நாகாலாந்து மக்கள் கடந்த 70 ஆண்டுகளாக என்னென்ன இன்னல்களை சந்தித்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். குறிப்பாக ஐயா உயிர் நீத்த அந்த காலம் தொட்டு அந்த 3 ஆண்டுகள், அதற்கு பிறகும் எவ்வளவு நாகா மக்கள் கொன்றொழிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அதற்கு முன்பு அவர்கள் அந்த மண்ணின் மைந்தர்கள், பழங்குடியினர், அவர்களுக்கென்று ஒரு தனித்துவமான பண்பாட்டுடன் விடுதலை உணர்வுடன் வாழ்ந்து வந்த மக்களை அடிமைப்படுத்தி இந்தியா என்ற ஒரு அடையாளத்துக்குள் சுருக்கி இன்று வரை அவர்களை அடிமைகளாக்கி உரிமைகள் அற்று அந்த மண்ணிலேயே வாழும் ஒரு நிலையை உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறது இந்தியா. இதை எதிர்த்து தொடர்ந்து போராடுகிறார்கள். குறிப்பாக இந்திரா காந்தி அம்மையாருடன் நிகழ்ந்த பேச்சுவார்த்தையின் போது எதை வேண்டுமென்றாலும் கேளுங்கள், இறையாண்மையை தவிர என்று அவர் சொன்னதற்கு நீங்கள் எங்களுக்கு அந்த நிலவையோ இல்லது கதிரவனையோ கொடுத்தாலும் எங்களுக்கு வேண்டாம், எங்களுக்கு வேண்டியது எங்கள் இறையாண்மை என்று மறுத்தவர்கள். தற்போதும் கடந்த மாதத்திலிருந்து, செப்டம்பர் மாதத்திலிருந்து மீண்டும் இந்திய அரசுடன் பேச்சுவார்த்தை தொடங்கி இருக்கிறது என்பதை கூறியிருக்கிறார். இம்முறையாவது உள்ளன்போடு உறுதியோடு சரியான தீர்வை நோக்கி இந்தியா பயணிக்கும் என்ற நம்பிக்கையோடு அவர்களைப் போல நாமும் காத்திருப்போம், அவர்களுக்கு துணை நிற்போம். இந்த நிகழ்வில் அடுத்ததாக எங்கள் தமிழ் தேசியத்தின் பேராசான் ஐயா பே மணியரசன் அவர்கள். So we have next our mentor, great mentor of Tamil nationalist ideology, P. Maniyarasan Ayya from the Tamil Desiya Periyakam, to deliver his keynote. Jiva ji.
தக்க தருணத்தில் இப்படி ஒரு தேசிய இன உரிமைகளின் கருத்தரங்காக நம்முடைய தமிழின ஈகி சங்கரலிங்கனார் அவர்களுடைய நினைவு நாளில் ஏற்பாடு செய்திருக்கும் நாம் தமிழர் கட்சி தோழர்களுக்கும் அதன் தலைவர் அன்பிற்கும் மரியாதைக்கும் உரிய ஐயா சீமான் அவர்களுக்கும் தேசிய இன இறையாண்மைக்கு போராடி கொண்டிருக்கும் மாநிலங்களிலிருந்து வருகை புரிந்து சிறப்பாக இங்கே உரையாற்றி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய delegates from fraternal nationalities அவர்களுக்கு, இங்கே செவிமடுத்து கொண்டிருக்கும் உங்களுக்கும், அதே போல பல்வேறு பகுதிகளில் ஊடகங்களின் வழியாக இந்த உரையரங்கத்தை உற்று நோக்கி கொண்டிருக்கும் தமிழின உணர்வாளர்களுக்கும்